everybody, it is Corey at Gemini Guitar. Welcome back, and today we're looking at some post-rock style picking. So basically what we're going to be doing here is focusing on 3-note groupings, and we'll be starting, or playing actually mainly on the 5th, 4th and 3rd strings. I'm going to get a little bit more close-up with the fretboard view, and then I'll break it down what we're doing. There'll also be tab on screen, so you can check that out as well. Okay, so first what we'll do is we'll take a look at the bass line, and it's a very simple bass line because we're going to play the notes, or the bass note, just once. And we're going to descend firstly on the 5th string, and then very briefly at the end of the sequence we'll be playing the G bass note on string 6. So I'm in standard tuning for this one. Guitar is DBZ Halcyon, and the tone that I'm using is just one of the stock presets on the Gearbox software for the Line 6 tone port UX1, and that is Skillet Liquor. So essentially there are two halves to this. We have this half. There'll be a little bit more space at that point. That's the 9th fret on string 5, and then we proceed then to the rest of it. Same rhythm, same amount of notes, but they are different notes. Let's do it in sequence again. And what we're doing to that is we're going to add in the 3rd finger to each bass note, creating a power chord, and we're also then going to play or use the 3rd string open with that. When we get down to the 6th string, the 5th of the root there, which forms the power chord, the open string will then be the 4th string, D. Oops. Yeah, that one just there. So the picking pattern is generally going to be down, down, up. Just have a look at what happens when we get to halfway through. So notice there I did an extra pick stroke to fill things out for that little bit of extra space. Mostly down, down, up. And I use a downstroke at the very end. What I'll then be doing is proceeding to the 7th position and repeating the exact same picking pattern, only that at the end of it we'll be switching to the 6th, 5th and 4th string. So we'll have a look at the entire sequence now, slower. So just an idiosyncrasy of mine when I do play this sort of thing, what I'll do is instead of floating, which just means no anchoring on the guitar itself, I'll actually just rest my fingers very lightly around the strings as an anchoring point. That's what I like to do when I'm picking one note per string arpeggiation through chords. So if you look down here, my 3rd and 4th finger are just resting on the 2nd string. Now, they don't have to rest on the 2nd string, it might be the 1st string if you're more comfortable with that. They don't have to really rest at all. Just got a bit of hair in my nail there, probably from the cat. So to me that just makes it a little bit easier to play. Of course, resting them on the 2nd string means they're not in the way of the 3rd string, which we'll need. So as for the last bit, what I like to do there is the general idea is to play the low E power chord, something like this. So you'll notice I'm strumming it down and up. And then what I'm going to do is some chucking. So chucking just means that you can use your strumming hand or the fretting hand. In this case, I tend to use both, I think. Yep, so I just rest my palm there, sort of like palm muting, but a little bit further up. And then these fingers here will come across just very lightly, but they're not pressing the string down onto the fretboard. So we get... And some random things you can do after that. I think one of the things I was doing is an octave sequence from 5th to 7th position. Another thing is an inverted root 5 on the 3rd and 2nd string. So we've got the A and the D note, up to the B and the E. So we get... Another thing I like to do is the Hendrix Scream, as my first guitar teacher used to call it. And it's what's known as a unison bend. So what you're doing there is you're putting the finger on the higher string. That's the one you're going to bend to the pitch of. That's going to remain stationary, not bent. Then what we do is we want to bend a full step to get to that point on the other string, that's the 2nd string. And we want to play them together. Best thing to do here is to use some vibrato on the 2nd string. That way you don't have to worry as much about being perfect pitch or anything. But it's basically more expressive anyway. And then all you have to be careful of is being able to get back to the idea again. Cool, so that wraps things up for today's lesson. Hope you have enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out the website, geminiguitar.com.au, and I will see you at the next lesson. Bye for now.